When someone asks for a resume, what do they really want to see? All of our accomplishments, our goals, our grades, and our internships, and all the other accolades in our life. It's like a greatest hits list, where all of your successes are stacked up in one document. But what about the resume you don't submit? The one filled with things you never got to do. The tournament you never participated in. The race you never signed up for. The clubs you never joined. The list of things you wish you could have done is endless. Allow me to tell you something about myself. I was born with an extra thumb, with a condition called preaxial polydactyl. As expected, people stared, asked uncomfortable questions, and called me names like alien. Essentially, failure, this is all tied to one thing. Failure. What does failure really mean? For most people, failure means trying something and not succeeding. But what if true failure means never even getting the chance to try at all? The truth is, because of my double thumb, I wasn't able to do the things that I truly wanted to do, like playing the violin or the piano. I couldn't play glazeball cricket because getting injured on my thumb would make it nearly impossible to treat. I convinced myself to not try early on. The truth was, I wasn't trying and failing at these things. I wasn't even allowed to try. That kind of silent exclusion, where you're denied the opportunity to even begin, ultimately became my definition of failure. Everyone around me was enjoying their hobbies and passions, going about their lives with a treasure chest full of opportunities to explore. I, on the other hand, was learning to expect disappointment. Importantly, that shame, that silent exclusion, didn't just shape what I did. It also shaped how I saw myself. Not because I wasn't confident, but because I didn't want anyone to notice my hand. Shame makes you erase parts of yourself before the world even has a chance to take a look at you. Good. However, around the 6th grade, I started to forget to hide my thumb in everyday conversations and activities. It was a gradual process of overcoming what once felt like a huge hump. It was a slow process of overcoming that paranoia, and all that embarrassment started to fade away. And nothing happened. No one stared. No one said anything. That moment stayed with me. It turns out the world wasn't my biggest critic. It was me. My thumb wasn't the problem. My story around it was. Essentially, I was excluded from doing things that I truly wanted to do. I started to show my thumb more and more. And with each moment, I felt more confident. I realized this thumb wasn't going anywhere. And honestly, maybe that was okay. That small shift helped me rethink not just my hand, but how I define success. Such a subtle change that happened unknowingly gradually made my rigid stance soften. Let's zoom out for a moment, because this story is much larger than mine. I'm not the only one with an invisible resume. All around us, people carry their differences. And all around us, people are excluded quietly. A couple of years ago, Harvard psychologist Mahzarin Banaji and her team conducted a study with over 2,500 school children from across multiple countries.
Right.
They concluded that the students who felt differently due to how they looked, spoke, and learned were nearly 30% less likely to even participate in extracurriculars, clubs, and competitive exams. 30% less likely to try. That isn't just another number. That is a classroom where 10 kids don't raise their hands. Not because they don't know the answer, but because they've been told their voice doesn't fit. The dyslexic student who wants to write, they're not avoiding the page. They're avoiding the "why can't you just try harder" lecture. The deaf student who dreams of law school, their dreams are crushed when it says no interpreters allowed outside the exam room. Examples like these are everywhere. Quiet, invisible walls stop people before they can even begin. And we don't get to start in the conventional definition, we don't see them fail. But we also never see what they could have become. Their story never gets written, and the opportunity disappears before it even exists. We often mistake silence or absence as a lack of effort, instead of realizing that these people were excluded to begin with. So if we want to celebrate success, we have to ask better questions. Not why didn't they try, but did they even get the chance? Importantly, what do we get wrong about failure first? First, we're told that failure means trying something and not succeeding, putting in the effort but not getting the prize, not getting the grade, losing the match, or missing the opportunity. But that definition falls short because it assumes that everyone starts from the same place, with the same access and the same chances to try. That's not true, and most definitely not the world that we live in. 2, some people never get to try, and that isn't because they don't feel like it, but it's because of something they were born with, something that they carry, or something society does not accommodate for. 3, when you're excluded from even the beginning, you don't get to fail in the traditional sense, but you still face the consequences of that failure, and that goes unnoticed. Failure isn't just about falling short. It's also about being shut out, being left behind, being made to feel like that door was never meant to open for you. 4, if we expand our definition of failure to include exclusion, then we also have to expand our definition of success to include the mere presence of being there, showing up, courage, and self-acceptance. Success can't just be about achievement. It has to begin with being allowed to show up. Once I let go of the idea that I had to be like everyone else, I stopped seeing my thumb as a flaw and started seeing it as a part of my story. And what made me, me. And when I did that, the thing I once used to hate became the thing I now speak about. We're taught that success means achievement, shelves with trophies, and report cards with rows of A stars, 7s. But for me, success became something else. Showing up as myself without apology. There's so many people in this world who struggle with their differences. Some visible, some invisible. Body image struggles, learning difficulties, and mental health issues. So if we want to celebrate success, it has to be different for people. What if success was different for each of us? What if showing up just as you are was enough? And now, I want to turn the focus to you, the person sitting here who might be carrying their own version of this story. You are different. You are special because of what makes you different. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to be like everyone else to belong. Essentially, my story is just another example of what true failure appears to be. But if you look closely, it's a gift that makes you, you. For all the people in the audience, whether you're the stuttering kid who's never tried out for your debate team, or the amputee who's always wanted to participate in the marathon, trust me, just go for it. You can't change what has happened to you, but you can change what happens to you. And if you move ahead with that unwavering spirit to push through walls, you'll be in a place far greater than you've dreamt of. We often think of our lives like resumes. It's dependent on a list of accomplishments, awards, and wins, but that's not really the full story. The most important lines on a resume aren't always the visible ones. They're the moments when you chose to show up, even when it was hard. The courage to be seen just as you are. And now, I want to ask you, what's one thing you've been hiding? What's held you back from trying? The real failure isn't getting it wrong. It's being made to believe you were never allowed to start.